Welcome to the Evo India podcast. Now, you're sticking with our week in cars, but this week, or actually over the past 2 weeks, we haven't driven much. We've actually driven a fair few, but we can't talk about it because of the dreaded embargoes. So instead, since we're coming up onto the holiday season and all of that, we're going to talk about great driving roads and great road trips that you can do in India. Obviously, we've driven a lot in the course of our work, testing cars, doing road trips and travel stories. So we're going to list out some of our great and memorable road trips. Now, I must warn you, this list is in no way exhaustive. We cannot possibly cover everything that India has to offer. And I am also sure there are many roads that we still have to discover.
Absolutely.
So any comments that you have, any road trip suggestions that you have, drop it below and let this be like a repository for all enthusiasts when they are planning a road trip. Now you can refer to this and they can go out and head out and do great road trips. So welcome to the Evo India podcast. I'm Sirish Chandran, editor.
I'm Aatish Mishra, assistant editor at Evo India.
And this is not our weekend cars, but our great driving road trip destinations in India. Now, Aatish, I think we should start with the north because the Himalayas are on everybody's bucket list.
Yeah, not just us, the world's bucket list.
The world's bucket list. We have a Royal Enfield which is called the Himalayan because of that whole imagery and the sense of romance and adventure associated with the Himalayas. Now, I've been going to the Himalayas since 2000, since I joined Overdrive as a baby reporter, and the Himalayas, the roads over there have changed so dramatically from that very first time. The first time we went up there was with the Bolero and the Safari, the Gen 1 Safari, and at Manali, we had to stock up with supplies, with a small gas tank for the chula to cook our food, tents, we had to carry fuel. That was an adventure.
It was the Wild West back then.
It was unimaginable what we do today compared to what we did back then. It's like world of difference. And the tipping point has been the Atal Tunnel. Now, there are a lot of questions around whether it is good, not good and all that. But I'm telling you, crossing the Rohtang Pass from Manali then into Jispa was an absolute adventure. And it was a scary adventure. Rohtang in Tibetan or whatever the local language is, it meant pile of dead bodies. And Rohtang was crazy back then. The Atal Tunnel has really transformed connectivity. I remember a couple of years ago, we went and did that Alto, the first mountain goat story. And earlier, if you did anything in the mountains, you had to go to Jispa or to Shillong, stay there. But now you can stay in Manali and just go up and down, up and down. It's actually, Atal Tunnel in terms of infra has transformed the place.
So the road trip that you're talking about here is Manali to Leh.
The iconic Manali-Leh.
Yeah. So that's the first one on this list.
The first one. Now, Manali is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
Everybody leaves Manali town at around 4 in the morning to just get to the mouth of the Atal Tunnel. And at 4, 5 in the morning, there are 2-3 hour traffic jams getting to the start of the Atal Tunnel. It is insane the kind of traffic that is there. Also, Chandigarh-Manali used to be a nightmare, that drive. Now it has become much, much better. And I think in a couple of months, once all those overbridges and all that are done, that will be a great driving road. Just Chandigarh-Manali will be a super drive. Now there are a lot of diversions and traffic and everything. So you got to be a little patient over there. Now, once you cross Atal Tunnel, now that's where the real adventure starts.
Yeah.
And that's where most tourists, they cross the Atal Tunnel, go to the other side, take pictures and come back to Manali. So you cross Atal Tunnel, you carry on towards Shillong and Jispa, and then you have the place all to yourself. And I must tell you that now more and more people will get to know the joys that lie on the other side of the Atal Tunnel. No point coming back to Manali. And those places are going to get crowded. Already you do see crowds coming in, so many hotels, so much of infra being put up over there. Also garbage like you've never seen before, because I don't think there's like a proper garbage collection system. So towns like Shillong, it's all just thrown into the valley, and there's some places where you can see all that garbage there, and it is heartbreaking. Anyway, this is not the podcast to talk about all of that. But you do that cross Manali,
it's like a portal into another world once you're in the Lahore.
You acclimatize, And then the drive from Keelong all the way up to Leh is fantastic.
I've actually never done the whole drive.
Really?
Yeah, so I've been to Keelong, and then every time I've gone, we've gone to Shinkula, which is one of the many high altitude passes there, but
Yes.
it's off the main Manali-Leh
Yeah,
highway.
yeah.
So I've taken that turn off and gone on that route. I've never gone to those fearsome Baralachala pass.
Yeah, so Baralacha, then you have the More Plains, you have Pang, which I remember the first time we went there, we stayed at Pang, and I've stayed at Pang quite a few times, and honestly, to me, that's the worst place in the world to spend a night. It's freezing cold. We once stayed at the army camp at Pang in the VIP hut. I still remember the hut that I was staying at. It was called Prithvi. And the altitude sickness that hit me that night, the cold, that wind going through those tin sheets that they used to make those huts. Oh God, it was terrible, like really terrible. But of course, things have gotten better now. Altitude sickness, there is no way of saying it will or it won't hit you.
You can take some precautions.
Yeah, you take Disprin, you take Diamox. Now, Diamox, there are two theories to it. One, now Diamox is you tend to pee a lot. And they say drink water, but now you're drinking water and you're peeing a lot. But I always take a Disprin, I always take a Diamox.
I think more than that, just take time to acclimatize. Don't try to push yourself. Don't try to go to too high altitudes very quickly.
Yeah.
Be generous with your time on a trip like this. Don't try to rush it.
Yep.
And enjoy the drive.
Yeah. It's a beautiful drive. Highly, highly recommended.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to Leh, what do? Earlier, everybody would make a beeline to Khardungla, world's highest pass. Now that whole charm of allure of Khardungla is gone. It's no longer the world's highest pass.
But it's still, I think, on the bucket list of many people because a lot of people have grown up wanting to go there.
Yeah, so and also from Khardungla, that is your gateway to the Nubra Valley.
Yeah.
Again, Nubra Valley is something that's really unexplored. Not too many people go to the Nubra Valley. You can now go to Siachen Base Camp. The government wants tourists to get there. And again, going to Siachen Base Camp is something you've ticked off your bucket list. Those places are remote, unspoiled. Nubra Valley, it has the sand dunes. You have those Bactrian camels over there, the double-humped camels, which you only see over there. You don't see anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Long story of how those camels came from Afghanistan because the Brits wanted to make a railway track over there and they got laborers from Afghanistan who came with their camels and long-winded story around it. Again, lots of stories over there. Nubra Valley has got those hot springs also. So lots to explore and you really can explore a lot over there. But my personal pick, if you want to do like a real adventure, would be from Leh, you come back down, you go to Hanli. Now, Hanli is India's only dark sky sanctuary where they limit light pollution. So you actually see the stars that you see, the skies that you see at Hanli are unbelievable. You see the Milky Way with your naked eye.
Yeah.
You can't see that anywhere in the country. Clean, there's no pollution, obviously. Now, it's got India's highest observatory out there. And that is your staging point to go to Umlingla, which is India's and the world's highest motorable road. So 19,024 feet.
Yeah, that's road trip number 2. Leh to Umlingla.
Yeah, okay. So it could be second part or road trip number 2.
Yeah.
Leh to Umlingla. Now, obviously, if you fly to Leh, I don't think you really have Zoom cars and all that you can rent a car in Leh and drive on your own.
I'm not sure, honestly.
I'm not sure. So that's something that you probably need to check out. Or if you want to do it in your own car, the thing is you'll have to drive either from Manali up there or from Srinagar over the Zojila Pass to Kargil and then to Leh. My preference would be the Manali-Leh highway. Zojila, if you get stuck in traffic, it's a mess and it's not like a spectacular drive, to be honest. So from Leh, Hanli, now take your time again because 19,024 feet is very, very high. Altitude sickness, the rarefied air, you get breathless, you lack energy. And then when you go up there, when you're climbing, okay, so from Hanli, you start climbing up. You get these boards saying that you are at this height, you are at this height. Everybody want to stop and take a picture. By the time you actually get up to this really serious boards, you're already running out of breath. Yeah. You have one board that says that you are now higher than Everest Base Camp. It's cool the way they've done it. The roads are really excellent.
Yeah, so that road actually goes to the border with China.
Yep.
And which is why you see the roads in Ladakh are so good. It's obviously because the army needs to have swift movement up there. If the roads are bad, troops would not be able to move swiftly in case of a crisis, and which is why the roads up there are probably the best roads in the country.
Yeah, but you do have landslides. Yeah. Landslides are extremely unpredictable.
You have ice on the road.
You have ice on the road, black ice. You can't make out if it's, you think it's wet, but it's actually black ice, and you have zero traction over there. The BRO is extremely active, so you have a landslide. They are clearing it up, but
it's dangerous.
You have to, it's not so dangerous, but you have to have patience, because you plan something and the mountains have another plan. Yeah. The weather could turn at any moment. You'll have a landslide. A 2-hour journey would probably take you 10 hours. So you have to account for all of that.
And you have to respect the mountains. You can't go in there with a car that's not been fully taken care of.
True.
Your car has to be in top-notch shape. You have to be in top-notch shape.
Yep.
You need to understand what you're getting into before you try something as extreme as Umlingla.
Yeah.
Manali is fine. I think even Leh is not so extreme anymore. But when you're pushing yourself as far as Umlingla, as high as Umlingla, you really need to be well prepared mentally, physically, and with your machine.
Yeah, so an SUV would be the best bet.
Yeah.
Though we have actually taken the Nexon EV out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Nexon also is a SUV, compact SUV. You could do it in an Alto. Alto is actually
the best car.
Extremely capable.
It's probably the best car.
Yeah, so if you can go to Leh and rent an Alto is great fun to drive also up there. You don't really need all that much power. You're already, you're up in the mountains. So the Alto, lots of torque, easy to overtake lumbering trucks. Yeah. It's small, it's compact. If you go off or you get stuck in mud or snow, you get 4 burly men and you can lift the Alto and put it back on the road. So Alto, great. That would be like my top 5 picks for. Obviously, a Thar is superb. Any SUV.
I think a Jimny would be lovely.
A Jimny also excellent out there.
But just one thing to note: if you're taking a diesel car up there, diesel has a tendency to freeze faster than petrol, so it has a lower freezing.
And the other problem, and the other problem is the DPF filters could get clogged.
Yeah.
That's been a consistent issue with the BS6.2 cars. Yeah. So that's also something to take care of.
Just be careful if you're taking your modern diesels.
Should you do Umlingla? 110%. The views from out there, oh my God. You've been to Umlingla, right? Mm-hmm. Even thinking about it gives you goosebumps.
It's phenomenal. Your brain can't even process the scale of what is happening. You see it, but it just doesn't sink in as to how insignificant and small you are in that vast landscape. There's nothing for miles. You're probably the only person that you can see in the horizon in every direction. It's insane.
So that would definitely be on my bucket list. You need to plan. You need to be prepared, but it is worth doing. Definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have on our list?
Number 3, Spiti. I've never been to Spiti.
Okay, so Spiti is great for a winter drive. Now, don't do it alone. Go in an organized group. There are a lot of them to do it. Vijay Parmar, King of the Mountains, TT, he does the winter drives. His stuff is super extreme. Yeah. So you got to be hardcore to do an expedition with him. There are guys like Mountain Goat who organize it. Our friends in Chandigarh, Kabir, the Girari guys, they do winter expeditions. These are extreme. You need a proper 4x4 with low ratio. And I've never done one of their Spiti drives. I've done the Spiti in the winter. It's extreme, but it'll be something that you'll have stories for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the pictures. Everybody comes back from there with pictures of just white. It's whitewashed.
Yeah.
The entire landscape is whitewashed. Your cars are charting paths in the snow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. But Spiti in the summers is also great. I took my bike, the Pan Am, did a tour of Spiti. That's also great. Now, Shimla, again, like Manali, very congested, lots of traffic. Chandigarh to Shimla also is a mess. But once you cross Shimla, you cross the Kinnaur side, and then you get up to those empty-ish kind of roads, Nako, Kunzum Pass, and then the whole Spiti Valley, stay in Kaza. That's, again, one of those back of beyond places where you're just on your own. There are no people around. You have this vast openness. It's another world altogether.
Very harsh, very extreme places, and that's why they're so empty. But that also makes them very, very beautiful.
Yeah, and for us, living in cities, you go to those places and it's a different world. It's you have time to just breathe.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to do. You just sit and you're on your own. You're going on a drive. You're stopping somewhere. you're just staring.
It's something as
It's-
simple as the ability to see far. You know, in a city, you've always got something in front of you.
Yeah.
A wall, a tree, a road, a bridge, whatever.
Yeah.
You can actually look into the distance.
And you're just driving slowly. You're just soaking it all in. Everywhere you point your camera, you have a picture postcard, a postcard-worthy picture.
Mhm.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So Spiti, that's Spiti. But these are all things that you have to plan.
Yeah.
You know? Now,
They're a little extreme. They're a little hardcore.
little back of beyond also.
Yeah.
It's not like you got a petrol pump every 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
So you need to do some research. Going up to on the Manali-Leh highway, that pump at Tandi. Now there's a new pump at Shillong. After 20 years of me going there, now finally they have a pump at Shillong. So all this planning is required. Now if you don't want to plan, I just want to jump in your car and go. In the north, now Srinagar Jammu highway, when we did that for our first K2K 2 years ago, it was a nightmare, like an absolute nightmare. The kind of traffic and the horrible road discipline and the road sense of the guys up there, people in their sumos and all of that. It was madness.
You can hear the frustration in his voice because he was trying to do a record, and within the first 4 hours of the record being flagged off,
we
we
were
all were stuck.
20 hours behind.
Yeah.
It was miserable. But now, with all the tunnels, most of the tunnels being ready, there's only that one section that is still not ready. And when we did the K2K now with the curve, we did that early morning, so we didn't really have much traffic. But otherwise, that Srinagar Jammu highway is brilliant. And because it is through the mountains, it's not like a straight expressway. It's got lovely flowing corners. The views are great. It's actually one of the nicer driving roads in the country.
Yeah.
Very surprising, but this is like a proper expressway.
And if you're driving that road, you'll actually get one of India's engineering marvels on the way.
Yep.
That Chenani Nasri tunnel, it's 9 kilometers long.
Yeah, which when you're in it, it goes on forever.
Yeah, and it's literally a 9 kilometer long tunnel underneath a massive mountain.
Yep.
So earlier you had to actually cross that mountain. There was another route. You would climb up the mountain, go down go down the other side. Obviously increases distance as well. It takes longer. This is just straight through and you're on the other side. You know, the first time you drive a tunnel like that, it's always special because you never know when it's going to end. And it just, like you said, it goes on and it's on and on and on. And finally at the end, you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And as somebody who likes infrastructure and, you know, roads, this is a road fundamentally. You know, it does nothing else. It serves no other purpose. It's a road. And to drive through that is brilliant.
Road serves a lot of purposes.
No, as in like
the tunnel. Saying that, you know, the first time, even when you go through the Atal tunnel, okay, it's a straight road, it's dark and the lights are there and all that. But even the first time you go through Atal tunnel, it is an experience.
Yeah. No, what I meant by that was it's there for cars. It's there for mobility. You know, and as enthusiasts of cars and mobility, it's something that's really nice to see.
Yeah. All these new tunnels that are being carved, and they've been carved all over the place, even up in Arunachal. We'll talk about that in a bit. All these tunnels, the first time you go through, it really is an experience. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You experience it for yourself. And it's an experience worth having. You know, driving in India, there's so much that you can explore. And all these things are like things that you will talk about. These are conversation starters with fellow driving enthusiasts.
Absolutely.
So that's the Srinagar Jammu highway. Now, that's in the north.
Yeah. And like Sirish said at the start, this is not a comprehensive list. There are a lot more drives in the north. You know, Punjab, Haryana, they've got so many roads. Uttarakhand. So many roads, so many experiences. We just don't have the time on this podcast to cover them all. But we will. You know, we will be doing Instagram updates on the best driving roads in the country. So once you're done with this podcast, stay tuned to our Instagram because whatever we couldn't cover here, we will be putting up on Instagram. So at Evo India on Instagram.
Okay. Let's do the west.
Yes, that's a home territory for us.
Okay. So between Bombay and Pune, that's where we are based. That's home territory. Now, there's Mahabaleshwar, Horma Sorabji, Autocar India. He's got his Mahab test. He keeps driving up to Mahabaleshwar. Now, the Mahabaleshwar drive is great when there is no traffic. And that whole Y-Ghat and everything, there is a lot of traffic. It's best.
I actually did it in lockdown once and it was empty, and it was probably the best time to drive to Mahabaleshwar. But now it's quite
and over weekends you'll be stuck in, like, it'll be impossible for you to overtake anybody because there's traffic both sides. It's a single carriageway. So the best time to do it is early morning, or as Hormuz keeps saying, middle of the night. Because he leaves his office in Bombay, middle of the night, you take the Atal Setu, and it's a far easier, simpler drive because there's less traffic also. And in the night, you can see what is coming at you because of the headlights and all. That whole Vaigat and all that area is actually a very nice drive. When I was starting off, that time you should do a lot of stories there because there wasn't too much traffic. Now it is impossible to do anything. You can't shoot, nothing. But it's still a great drive as long as you don't get traffic. Now, the drive that we keep doing is to Goa.
Yes.
Because especially from Pune, I personally prefer driving to Goa because it takes as much time as flying. Flights,
You mean door to door?
Door to door. Exactly. Yeah, obviously not the flight. Door to door, it's almost the same time. And then if your flight is delayed and then the mess at your airports and all that, it's just so much simpler just to drive down.
And then you have a car in Goa, so you don't need to rely on the taxis.
Exactly. That too. Yeah. So driving to Goa, great. There are a lot of options. So there's the Amboli Ghat. Actually, you're from Goa. You should take this.
Yeah, so I think initially, in the early years, when we were driving, we would always take Amboli. That was the ghat. Later on, we discovered Chorla Ghat, and that became, the go-to.
So Chorla Ghat is, you go further down to Belgaum.
Correct. You go to Belgaum and then to Chorla.
And that's better if you go to South Goa.
It's better if you go to South Goa because it spits you down further south in Goa. But honestly, now that road's also become quite bad and also quite crowded.
Chorla.
Yeah, Chorla. Okay. At least, I don't know, I've not driven in a couple of years now because we've discovered the new road that we always drive. But last time I took Chorla, I didn't enjoy it. And the road that we've recently discovered in the last 2 to 3 years, Anuskura Ghat.
Yeah. A lot of people have abused me on Instagram because I've made it public, so to speak. So then now there are more and more people that are on Anuskura. But it's still fellow enthusiasts. Come on, how to tell the world.
So keep it to yourselves, my driving enthusiast friends. Don't tell the general public. Let's keep it a driving enthusiast secret and keep it to ourselves because it is really a lovely road and a road worth enjoying.
Okay, how do you access it?
So you go south on the Bombay-Bangalore highway, Mumbai Bangalore highway, and then you take a right at Karad.
Yep. So, correct. You go Satara.
So the McDonald's just before Karad or after Karad is your marker. Just after Karad, correct. And
that's your clean loo stop.
Correct.
Because after that, you're not going to get especially for the women, honestly, you won't get great loos. So use that McDonald's loo.
Correct.
Grab a coffee, please give them some business.
Turn right, head towards Malkapur. And from Malkapur, just map to Anuskura Ghat, and that ghat, it's a beautiful ghat. It's not as imposing, I would say, as Amboli. Amboli is just like a wall, and then you've got to go down there and it's long. Anuskura is split up. There are 3 separate actual ghat sections. One is very small, then you've got a slightly longer one, and then you've got one with a lot of hairpin bends in it. So there are 3 different types of climbs actually, or descents if you're coming from Bombay, Pune. And all of them have very different terrain. All of them have very different views. And it's spectacular. There's one very famous halt point.
The viewpoint.
Yeah, the viewpoint. Where you've got the mountain behind you. This is the top of the ghat. And you've got the reservoir of a dam down there. In the monsoons, it's really nice because it's green. You can see the rain coming. I was once standing there and you could see the cloud literally coming in and this wall of rain just approach you. It was time to get in the car and go after that.
And that's a sunset point. So you get beautiful sunset.
I actually didn't know that because I've always driven in the day.
So what I do is I leave Pune very early in the morning, say around 5 o'clock, and I'm there in Goa for lunch. And I leave Goa after lunch. And I do Anuskura Ghat during sunset time, and then I get onto from Satara and onwards to Pune. I do that in the night. That's when there is slightly less traffic. And then getting into Pune at night is easy.
Much easier, yeah, for sure.
So that is my kind of schedule that I follow.
Yeah.
Earlier I used to leave Goa also very early in the morning. But then getting into Pune, that whole traffic on the highway was a mess. So now I do that at night. And today with better cars, LED lights. Some of the LED lights are awful. But some are nice. So anyway.
Yeah, and then you hit the you hit the Bombay-Goa highway and you're in Goa. And obviously you enter from the north. So if you're going to North Goa, much easier. You save a lot of time. Again, even if you're coming from Amboli. But if you're going to the south, okay, you have to go through Goa. But even that road's now done. You've got your bridges.
It's elevated in most parts.
Yeah, so in one section in Goa, they're still making a bridge. Porori and all, they're still doing. But the Atal Setu, that's also an Atal Setu in Goa, is done. And then you've got an elevated road all the way into South Goa. So it's pretty easy.
The Bombay-Goa highway, the parts that are ready, especially when you join the Bombay-Goa highway, Rajapur or somewhere, right?
Yeah, so there's Oni or Rajapur.
Uni or Rajapur.
Depending on which route you take after Anaskura.
Yeah. I've been told the Uni
it is the better.
is better than Rajapur.
The Rajapur is narrower. It's also a very beautiful drive. It's just narrow.
Beautiful, yeah. So when you join that Bombay-Goa highway, that's actually also very nice. It's bumpy, but that has got lovely curves, zero traffic.
Yeah, but it's got these mid-corner bumps which really unsettle a car. You've got these little humps in the middle of the corner. So you'll chuck it into a corner, there's full lateral load on the car, it's gripping, and then it'll just go boing, boing, boing while it's loaded up laterally, which is...
Good place to test cars.
Yeah.
So speaking of that Bombay-Goa highway, now the Bombay side is not ready. Yeah. So a lot of people keep asking us, should we take the Konkan road down? That road asks for a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Now I must tell you, since we do a lot of these drives, you leave Bombay early in the morning, and if you want to do Anuskura, you'll be doing Bombay-Pune before pre-dawn.
Yeah.
And that has a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Until
and
maybe
if
9 in the morning.
And if you delay it too much, you'll get traffic outside Pune on the bypass.
Yeah. So that is, and there is no solution to that unless you do like a Hormuz and leave in the night. But
no, but sometimes if there's too much traffic on the main expressway, the older highway is better.
So that's the tip.
Yeah.
If there is, and if you see the whole highway section being red, at the Kalamboli toll, the first toll that you hit when you come from Bombay, you hang a left, get off the expressway, and come via Khandala.
Yeah.
Now, in the night, all those villages over there, those towns over there, all of them are sleeping, so you don't have traffic.
Yeah.
In the day, there's a lot of traffic there.
And you will have some smart aleck trucks that are also trying to climb that because they also want to avoid the jam. So you just have to be careful over there because it's a narrower road, of course.
But it's actually a nice road.
It's a lovely road.
That heart that climbs
and
up,
especially at night.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. So you take the old Khandala, you then come out through Lonavala town and join back the expressway after you cross the entire ghat section.
Correct. And then you're scot-free.
But if you get stuck in traffic on that Bombay-Pune expressway, it's actually very bad. It's frustrating.
There's no exit. You can't even get out. You're just stuck.
What you could do is you take the ferry to Alibag. Okay, M2M ferry is very simple. Your bike, your car, whatever, you put it on the ferry. And then you chart a path through the entire Konkan belt.
Yeah.
The Bombay-Goa highway is not ready. There are parts where suddenly the road ends and it's actually dangerous.
This is actually something I want to do this year. I want to take the coastal most road. Even if it's not a highway, nothing. I just want to take the road closest to the coast to Goa.
Yeah, so
how many days
talking about is like Alibag, Murud Janjira, Napoli, Ratnagiri.
Yeah.
So
there'll be a lot of bridges and ferries on the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't charted. I've started saving pins on Google Maps. Okay, I have to go here, and then I'll have to chart the whole thing out.
But again, that calls for planning.
Yeah.
That's not, you won't get Goa in a day.
No, you'll take a few days.
You'll take a few days. Yeah. It's a very chill drive where you are exploring this whole thing for yourself. It's a great experience.
Yeah.
But you've got to do it with a chill attitude.
That drive is more about the journey than the destination of Goa.
Yeah.
You're there for the coast, not for Goa.
Yeah. And whether you get to go or not doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you're getting all those beaches along the way. And some of those beaches are really beautiful.
Yeah.
In fact, all of those beaches are really nice.
Yeah.
And you won't get that much crowd and all of that also over there.
Yeah.
So that's our favorite drive to Goa. Also on the west.
Yeah.
Now, we do have the Rann of Kutch. Driving from Bombay, Pune, it's a slog to get to Ahmedabad because of the roadworks that are going on.
Yeah.
Lots of roadworks on that Maharashtra side, even on the Gujarat side.
Pro tip, if you want to go to Gujarat, say Ahmedabad or Baroda.
That is a nice driving road also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to go to Ahmedabad or Baroda from Pune, instead of taking the main highway, which is from Bombay,
Ahmedabad,
you go to Nashik, then you do the
Saputara
Ghat. I keep forgetting that name, but it's a beautiful ghat. And after that, you go to Navsari and then onwards to to the big cities in Gujarat, So that's a really nice road, and it may take you the same or a little more time, but I promise you'll have a much better time behind the wheel. It's much better than sitting behind those trailers and trucks in traffic on those terrible roads that Gujarat highway is now.
Yeah, it's because of all the widening. I think maybe 6 months, 12 months down the line, once the widening is done, it'll be fine. But right now, the roadworks are insane. And weirdly enough, in Maharashtra, toll booths, they still have a lot of lines.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Most other places in the country, you don't have lines. When we did the K2K drive also, the only place where we got stuck in a long line at toll booth was in Maharashtra.
And the only place that I noticed, at least on my 911 road trip down, the only place you have speed breakers before toll booths is in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
Rajasthan, Gujarat, both didn't have.
Yeah. So I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, that rant for another time. Another pro tip.
Yeah.
Should we recommend people go to the Statue of Unity?
Yes, 100%. I was there early in the morning on a Monday. It was shut, but definitely get there when the light is not too harsh. Once the light is harsh in our country, everything just looks washed out. But that place has some spectacular colors. The greens of the mountains, the blues of the water. It's a really pretty place. Get there early in the morning, get the first slot to get in, and just enjoy the view.
Yeah. So don't go on a Monday because Monday it's shut. So you can't go up to the statue. You can't go and see the views from up top. I've seen those views from up top.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. And then you can drive through that Narmada Reservoir.
Yeah.
Again, that's stunning, man. It's phenomenal. That entire place is
beautiful
place.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Ahmedabad, and then you get to Dasada. Now, Ahmedabad-Dasada is a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, it's not a very long drive.
Yeah, and it's a easy enough drive. There is traffic. It's a regular highway. Nothing great, nothing to speak about.
But some of those interior highways of Gujarat are pretty good quality.
But it's okay. It's nothing. Now you're talking about great driving roads. It doesn't really feature there. Dasada is your staging point for the little Rann of Kutch.
Yes.
From Dasada, you get permissions, and then you drive into the run.
Yeah.
You obviously have to take a local chap with you, because you will get lost.
Our recommendation is Run Riders.
Run Riders.
They've always hosted us, and I mean, I've been doing this 10 years. You've been doing this double of that.
Yeah, my very first travel story,
exactly,
even before going to the Himalayas, was to the Rann of Kutch.
And with Run Riders.
With Run Riders, with Mujahid Malik at Run Riders.
Yeah, so those guys, they know that place inside out. They have great food.
Yeah.
They will bring the food into the run, set up a proper like a catering setup inside the run for you.
Yeah.
So they really sort you out over there. And it's
a beautiful drive to the little run. You see wild asses
inside.
Yeah. Which is it's an endangered species. You only see it in the run and in Ladakh.
Yeah. The two most extreme places.
Extreme places. Wild ass, but it's a beautiful animal.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you see them running across.
Herds of them.
Stunning.
You see a lot of birds.
Yeah. Water bodies, but you see flamingos. Flamingos till I can see. Again, a stunning sight.
Yeah.
And then, of course, driving through the run, where there are no tracks, you're making your own tracks. Your guide is saying, okay, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right.
So the Rann of Kutch is actually a reserve. It's a wildlife reserve.
Yes.
But it also connects two villages. So you can drive through it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how the locals navigate it. They've got these little 1-foot high posts every 20 meters. And that is how they navigate the run. There's even a temple in the middle of the run. So it may not be a road, but it is a road trip, and it's a proper adventure.
It's a road trip and a half.
Yeah. The last time we were there, we got stuck in a sandstorm.
Yes.
That was scary because we couldn't see the next car in front of us, which was 10 meters away from us. Everyone turned on the rear fog lights and you could see one dot of the fog light. You got lost. You got separated from us.
Yes.
And we were in that sandstorm.
And we were out of radio range also. Obviously, no mobile network. I was like, where the hell are these guys?
And then, thankfully, again, the Run Riders Jeep with their expert navigators managed to find you and bring you back to us in that sandstorm. But it's a great adventure.
Yeah. So that's the run. You can also go to the Greater Run.
The Greater Run.
Now, the Greater Run, you can't drive on it.
But visually.
Visually that's even better.
Yeah. They call it the White Run.
Yes.
The Little Run is brown.
Yeah.
It's never white. Okay, they are mining salt and all over there, but it's never white. The White Run is white.
Yeah.
It's that shimmering white. You can see your reflection in if there's a little bit of water in it. You
have to have sunglasses.
Yeah.
In the day, you have to have sunglasses because the reflection of the white is something else.
And then they've got these roads that run through it. These narrow single roads, which is white on both sides.
One of them is called that Highway to Heaven or something.
The road to heaven. I
The
think.
Road to Heaven. Yeah, that is beautiful. The views over there. Just be careful when you go into the run. If you like park on the side and walk there, below the white, it's all like
Mush.
kitchen,
Yeah.
and it's that like quicksand kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's full of salt, so
Yeah.
it can get really messy on your shoes.
Yeah.
You like
100%.
leave a permanent imprint.
If you do go to the run, also just remember to wash your cars down after, because
The salt.
it's very salty. It's like driving on the beach,
Yeah.
and we all know salt corrosion.
Yep.
If you want to take care of your car, just give it a proper hose down, put it up on a ramp, just
Yeah.
hose it down from the bottom as well.
Also filters.
Yeah.
There are a lot of dust over there, so
Mm.
clean your filters. And also in the monsoons, the place is shut.
Yeah, because it floods.
Because it floods.
Yeah.
It becomes like part of the ocean.
Yeah.
So the monsoon time, I think from mid-June onwards till September, you can't go in there.
Yeah,
And
they actually farm prawns over there.
They farm prawns over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rann of Kutch must do. And then you have our western region
Go-to driving.
go-to driving road.
Yeah. That is the Bharatmala Road. So the Bharatmala Road we discovered right after lockdown.
Yeah.
Our first story there was Thar to Thar. When the new Thar had just come, you had driven it on Independence Day. Then we finally got the cars in office, and we said we'll do a crazy story. Let's take the Thar to the Thar. We connected with somebody over there, Madan Chaudhary.
Rajasthan Motorsport,
Yeah.
Madan Chaudhary, he's the go-to guy at Jaisalmer.
Yeah, so Rajasthan Motorsport really sorted us out
Yeah.
that trip. That guy, again, like Mujahid Bhai knows the run.
Yeah.
Madanji knows the
desert.
desert like nobody else, So you get to Jaisalmer. That's a regular drive. It's a beautiful drive again.
Actually, Jodhpur Jaisalmer is a very nice drive.
Beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Even not just Jodhpur Jaisalmer. If you're coming from the south, you're doing
Barmer.
So you're doing Ahmedabad to Jaisalmer. Beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Rajasthan's roads
Watch
are
out for animals. You will have Nilgai crossing the road.
lots of them.
Yeah, so be careful of that. You'll have these empty sections. You'll either have Nilgai or you'll have RTO cops noting us, checking you for speeding.
Absolutely.
So a lot of surprises over there.
I mean, yeah, once you know, they're not so surprising anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, just watch out, because those Nilgais they run across the road. They're not like
Huge, strong animals. So
they're not even standing there grazing, nothing, just bolting past. Like you see those videos of moose in America, Canada, it's like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you get to Jaisalmer. From Jaisalmer, you go to Sam. And then from Sam, there is one road which is off the map, which takes you to this Bharatmala Road. The Bharatmala Road itself is not mapped. If you try to, say, navigate from Sam to the Tanot Mata temple,
It won't get you there. Yeah.
it doesn't take you on the Bharatmala Road.
From Jaisalmer, you can.
Yeah.
Because there people go up to Tanot. Tanot has that famous temple where the story goes that during the Indo-Pak War, bomb dropped on the
Shells.
temple.
They were
shells
shelling.
dropped,
Yeah.
and none of the shells that came in the vicinity of the temple, none of them exploded.
Yeah. And they're all
They
there.
have those, they still have those shells over there.
It's actually a very cool place to visit.
Yeah.
But you can't get there on Bharatmala Road if you're using Google Maps. So again, you need somebody to sort you out, know the place. And once you get there,
It's supercar territory.
it's just this arrow straight. Actually, it's not arrow straight. There are sections which are arrow straight, but then you've also got these winding corners.
Long sweeping corners.
Cutting through the desert, you've got dunes on both sides. You've got these the shrubbery and hedges that grow in the desert on both sides. The tarmac, impeccable. Another reason why this is impeccable, same reason why it's impeccable in Ladakh. Defense.
Border road. Yep.
Yeah, so the borders are really have the best roads. And this goes on for 300, 400 kilometers, north to south. Okay, you join it somewhere in the middle when you join at Jaisalmer. But it goes north for 150 something kilometers, goes south for 250 kilometers. And it's just a playground.
Yeah.
There's nobody there. There are no villages there. There are little hutments. They're not even villages.
Basically nomadic tribe.
Yeah. There are these hutments with not even pakka houses,
Yes.
kacha houses. They don't bother you. They're doing their own thing.
And you'll occasionally find one Bolero, locals, one pickup truck with a...
She saw some bikes testing. I don't know which manufacturer was testing
Maybe
motorcycles.
hot weather testing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Some bikes were testing there.
But if you go in the summer, it's crazy hot over there. It's really, really hot.
So best time to visit would be between November and February.
Yeah.
Temperatures are low. And in fact, it's so low in the night that it'll probably go into minus. And then once sun comes out, you're in 20, 25 degrees. So there's a big delta in temperatures. but it's lovely.
Yeah.
You know,
You also have the Longewala War Memorial.
Mhm.
Again, I would say must visit. And if you're there, you won't even really have much options for food.
Yeah.
At the Longewala War Memorial, there is a army canteen.
Yeah.
So you get good rajma chawal and all that out there. So that's a good place to eat also. And it's a great place to explore. Plus,
If you've got
that's also got the Thar Desert.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. If you've got a 4x4,
Yeah.
somebody like Rajasthan Motorsport can curate a proper dune bashing drive for you. You've seen the videos in Dubai.
Yep.
Land Cruisers, dune bash.
Yep.
You can do it here.
With our Thars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thars, Jimnys,
Yes.
Fortuners, you can take any 4x4
Yeah.
over there and properly dune bash. And this is not some light desert trail.
Mm-hmm.
They take you into the desert. You can only see dunes all around you. It's soft sand. You sink into it.
If you don't drive well, you will get stuck.
You will get stuck. We've been stuck so many times over there.
Don't start at this.
And, but that's the beauty of the Thar. And off-roading,
Yep.
you winch a car out, you pull it out. That's the joys of off-roading.
Yeah, so never go off-roading alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Always have like a friend along with the 4x4 who can pull you out in case you do get stuck.
Yeah.
And obviously off-roaders have this whole credo, right? Leave no man or woman behind.
Yeah.
So if you get stuck, they will pull you out and they will make sure that you get out of there.
Yeah. And I think that is definitely bucket list stuff.
Yeah.
If you've got a 4x4 in India, just go there.
Hmm.
Learning on sand, driving on sand is an art.
Yeah.
It's something worth learning.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's our... You've seen a lot of pictures and a lot of content from there. When we did that 9/11 drive from Delhi to Pune, we did a detour via Jaisalmer so that we could go to the Bharatmala Road and we could drive up there and then come.
There was no reason to go there except to drive on that road.
And so if you just enjoy driving, that's great. Jaisalmer Fort is also a great place to visit. So there is stuff to do over there, not just driving on the road.
Very historic fort.
Yep.
Beautiful place.
So those are the things I think mostly we've covered the West. Again, like Aatish said, this is in no means comprehensive. If you have any suggestions, drop it in the comments. Now, let's go south.
Kerala, this is your territory.
So, Kerala is great early in the morning before people have woken up, before traffic comes out on the road.
Traffic is the problem.
Traffic is the big problem, not the problem, big problem. And Kerala, the roads, now they're doing a new road that will go from north to the south of Kerala.
It's like a
expressway kind of thing. But that's not ready and there's still some time before it gets ready. Otherwise, you're driving from town to town, village to village, city to city. Some places it's so narrow, you're practically driving through people's homes. But before people have stirred, the road quality in Kerala it's unbelievably good.
And surprisingly uniformly across the state.
Yeah, uniformly.
Yeah.
Like potholes are very rare.
Yeah.
It's well maintained. It's never straight. It's always winding to something or the other. So early morning, it's a great drive. Now, Calicut to Wayanad, to the forest of Wayanad, great road. Kannur to Coorg, really, really nice road. Going through the forest and like a great drive. Kochi, ex-Kochi, not really. To get to Munnar, there's a lot of traffic and there's this one section which is called the Gap Road.
Yes,
this is for Munnar. That's stunning.
That's gone full viral on Instagram.
I know. Yeah. So that's stunning.
Yeah.
And then after that, you have this climb to Kulukumalai.
Yeah.
Now, you can't drive up that Kulukumalai. It's not a road. It's a track. You can if you have a lot of jack and you have like local connections and you can get permissions and all of that. But otherwise, the taxi unions and unions in Kerala are they are a little bit militant. They will not let you drive your own car.
And your own car, unless it's something like a Jimny or Thar, is not going to get up there also.
Or a Hilux.
Yeah.
So you need a proper 4x4.
Yeah.
Over there, you have all these old Mahindras.
Yeah.
Very well kept, good condition. The drivers are also good. But man, if you're sitting in one of those Mahindras and going up that Kulukumalai track, it's like
backbreaking.
It is backbreaking.
Because that road, I mean, I don't know if people
know. It's not a road.
It's a rutted
track. It's
rocky rutted track.
It's gnarly. It's like really, really hardcore. Yeah. You need a 4x4 will go there. But the drops are steep. You have to be careful. You have to be attentive. That's why they don't let you drive your own car. Because if you have a problem and if you get stuck over there or if you have a breakdown over there, that means that track is shut.
Yeah.
And that is used by it's through the tea estates.
Yeah. And I can't even
They're
imagine
using it all the time.
Yeah. I can't even imagine recovery over there. Like it's just endless, that trail going up.
Yeah, it's like next to impossible.
Yeah.
That's why they don't let private cars there and people who don't know how to drive there.
Yeah.
And how do they judge, right?
Correct,
If you go and say, I'm a great driver, how do they judge? So it's also to keep the traffic going that they don't let people go. But up there, right at the top, at Kolukumlai top, oh man, the views, it's like you're in Scotland.
Yeah, so Kolukumlai is famous for being the highest altitude tea estate in the world.
Yes.
So tea generally grows at lower altitudes. They've somehow figured out how to grow it at higher altitudes on steeper slopes. And apparently the tea has a different flavor because of that.
Yeah, we had the tea, they put milk in it and it was awful.
No, but I brought
black tea is very nice.
I brought back some bags of tea. And the tea quality is genuinely good. Also, if you go there, it's got a...
Don't ask for coffee.
That's one. You can stay up there. They'll have some rooms up there. And they've also got a old 1920s tea processing plant.
Yes.
So it's just a wooden building with old archaic equipment that process tea like they did in the 20s. And, I was thinking, how the hell did they move that equipment up there in the 20s? That's heavy equipment. It's hardcore.
Imagine in the 20s, they built that track.
Exactly.
Right? And we'll talk about another track that was built pre-independence up in the northeast. So we'll talk about that also.
But it just blew my mind.
It's a feat of engineering.
Yeah. But Kolukumlai, the best time to go there is sunrise. If you're there for sunrise, I think I saw the best sunrise I've ever seen in my life at Kolukumlai. I'll give the editors the picture. It's there somewhere on my phone. It was golden. The clouds were underneath me. You've got this layer of clouds which are like 200 feet below where you're standing. It was just beautiful golden light. You've got the tea plantations. You've got the hills. I'll never forget that image. Never.
Wildlife. I've seen wild dogs over there. I've seen bison.
Yeah.
There, deer.
Yeah. It's a plantation, but there's still wildlife. Yeah. Phenomenal.
It's a stunning drive. Yeah. Like must do. What else in Kerala? Or actually that entire belt, Tamil Nadu. You did Koli Hills also?
I did Koli Hills. I've done Valparai.
Okay.
Both beautiful places.
So that is, Coimbatore would be the staging point for that, right?
So for Valparai, yes. Valparai is, again, it's very close to the Kerala border in terms of where it's situated, but beautiful. So you from Coimbatore, you head to this road up Valparai. You've got a dam, which is at the base of the climb, and then you start climbing. And it just gets better and better and better. You're starting in a forest. As you climb higher, obviously with altitude, the trees change, they get greener. At some point, you're past the forest and then you cross into these beautiful tea and coffee estates. You're in the clouds. It's gorgeous. You've got great views. I mean, when I was there, it was like pre or post monsoon. So there was like a light drizzle. It was not heavy deluge rain. But just this light drizzle to keep everything cool. Everything was green. The air was clean. Beautiful road.
And these are those viral pictures. We'll put it if you're watching this on YouTube.
No, so that's Koli Hills.
But even Valparai.
Valparai, yeah.
Even Valparai is beautiful. Like
it's got those hairpins and everything going on.
We discovered Valparai, then we discovered Koli Hills. Yeah. So it's like Valparai, nothing could get better. And then Koli Hills.
And then Koli Hills. So Koli Hills is properly in the heart of Tamil Nadu. We drove there from Chennai, but I think you can drive there from Bangalore as well. It's equally accessible. And you enter the climb, let me get the pronunciation of this right, at Mulakurichi.
Okay.
That is the point where or the village where you enter the climb, and then you've just got hairpin after hairpin after hairpin after hairpin. Some hairpins are really tight and narrow. Some hairpins are long and sweeping. And you're just climbing and climbing and climbing. Be careful of buses. You've got local buses that come flying down the hill. So they are mindful. They do honk. But you've got to keep your ears open. So don't start blasting music and flying up the hill. Put your music off. You listen to your engine and listen to the sound of oncoming traffic. But it's a beautiful climb. And again, like the Valparai climb, you start in a forest and you climb up and then you've got plantations. Be careful, it's a proper forest area, protected forest area. So you're not allowed to get off the road. We've gotten into trouble for that. We were shooting over there. Our boys didn't know that you could not step off the road. We sort of clambered up a rock to get a better vantage point for a shot, and they got into trouble. We got hauled up for it, and thankfully the forest officials knew we were not from there, knew we didn't understand what was going on, and just gave us a stern warning and let us go. But yeah, don't mess around.
Even when you drive through Wayanad,
Yeah.
through the forest, they again tell you no stopping.
Yeah.
There, at times, you do see herds of wild elephant.
Mhm. Yeah.
You will see deer, bison.
Yeah.
In fact, I was riding through around Kunur, so around those Kotagiri hills on the classic 650, and we saw a big bison crossing the road in front of us.
Yeah.
And half the guys on the right didn't even know that it was bison. So, and that's the problem with city folk also.
Yeah.
We go out and see all these things.
But yeah, Koli Hills must do. Like if you're a driving enthusiast, north, south, east, west, wherever you are, that's just a beautiful hill climb. You know? And that's it. It's a hill climb. But that hill climb is phenomenally good.
So you have a lot of these forest roads. From Bangalore, you take the new Bangalore-Mysore expressway. From Mysore, you head to Mudumalai.
Yeah.
And then driving through Mudumalai also, it's excellent. It's really beautiful.
That's where you see all these deer on the side of the road because you're actually going through the forest.
And bison again.
Bison again.
I've seen bison over there.
But deer are like
yeah.
pigeons in the city. You just see them everywhere. You know, they're so common and they're not scared, I think, anymore of traffic. They don't just flee into the bushes every time a car passes. They're there grazing by the side of the road, just like a scene out of Bambi or something. And it's
so tip, do this all early morning.
Yeah.
You head off early morning and you will get great roads. After that, you'll be stuck in traffic forever. And then you'll experience the bus drivers in Kerala, who the next Formula 1 driver is going to come from one of this bus driving gang in Kerala. They're crazy. But also for me, like I followed these bus drivers and there are times when I've been like in awe.
Yeah. How do they thread it through that gap?
Yeah, it's like, no, that is talent, man.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're putting your life at risk, you're putting the lives of others at risk, and it's madness, but it's also
some skill.
At times you're like, oh, and then after a while you can't keep up with the bus. No, you're driving a fast car and you can't keep up with the bus because there's no way you will take those risks with people with you won't take those risks.
And they also know every single camber. They know the roads like the back of their hand. They can probably drive it in their sleep.
I know, hats off, but my God, please stop doing it. So that's the South.
Yeah.
Have we done all of our?
No, we've not because there's so much to talk about. But like I said,
actually, but this podcast will be like a 6-hour-long podcast.
We can't talk about it. We've got a long, we've actually, Sirish, before this podcast, sat and drew up an exhaustive list. We've got some 50 drives on this list. And I told him, Sirish, we talk about 50 drives. We're talking about each one for 1 minute or what in this podcast. You can't do that. So we whittled it down to 10.
Yeah.
And we decided that we'll talk more about these on our Instagram.
But South India road trips, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
What we should be, or what any enthusiast should be doing.
Now, let's go east.
East. Okay, so actually, I'm filming this the day before I am going east.
You're going to Arunachal.
I'm going to Arunachal. I sent my 911 on a truck to Arunachal.
Yeah.
We're starting in Namsai, which is East Arunachal.
Okay.
And we're doing the Trans-Arunachal Highway.
Wow. Okay.
I think some 2,300 kilometers or something. Obviously, it's not this one line. No? We're going up to the passes and coming down and all that. Some 2,300 kilometers planned over the next 10 days. So I'm taking my phones and all. I'll do like a vlog, like a Chris Harris kind of vlog, put my selfie stick and talk to the camera. Let's see what kind of a video I get out of it. But I'll do a story on it. And I'm really looking forward to this. When we launched Engage 4x4 magazine, the first story was Hari Singh doing this Trans-Arunachal Highway in a bunch of art.
Yeah.
And those pictures, I still think are like one of the most stunning that we put in the magazine.
That place has such a different culture from the rest of the country.
Yeah, the people are so friendly. The food is different.
Yeah.
Okay, great or not, it depends on your palate.
You see everything.
The roads are great. The views are great. I first went to Arunachal maybe again some 20 years ago. And the first thing I wrote was that this was Switzerland.
Yeah. Yeah. It just doesn't feel like India.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like. Yeah. So from Guwahati, you drive to Balokpong. That's the border between Assam and Arunachal. And from there at the checkpost, it just becomes a different world altogether. Now, Sela Pass is got a tunnel. So again, I was saying that there's the new tunnels, these BRO tunnels all over the country. Yes. So Sela Tunnel goes under Sela Pass. You get to Tawang. Stunning. Tawang has got a Taj now.
Oh, really? We did a story with them also recently.
Anand went recently and stayed at the Taj. I've stayed at that same property, which was pre-Taj.
Okay.
Which was owned by a local guy. Now that place is now managed by the Taj Group. From there, Tawang, go to Bumla.
Yeah.
Go to the Bumla Pass, which is on the border with China. You can actually see Chinese troops there. When Anand went and did that drive there, he saw Chinese troops over on the other side.
Yeah.
And you were saying that time, I think this was last year, and you're saying they were fully masked and maybe something is happening and all conspiracy theories are rubbish. Or you can go to the Bumla Pass. Tawang is beautiful. That whole Dirang to Tawang, it's a great drive. And that's just one side of Arunachal. Then you have the Zero Valley, where they have the music festival, which is again another stunning site. So Arunachal has so much to offer. Arunachal even does a round of the INRC, the Indian National Rally Championship, which is done on their public roads, which is a highway, dual carriageway highway. One side they shut and they run the rally. And the roads are so good, they can actually do a rally over there.
Yeah.
The people are great drivers because they're born and bred in the hills.
Yeah.
You follow them, and again, you see them taking the racing line. They're safe, they're quick.
Yeah, they know where to brake.
Altos over there are untouchable. You'll never be able to keep up with them. But they're really good drivers over there. Very sensible. They don't use their horn. They know pam, 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 pam all the time. They're
very respectful drivers.
And respectful. So Arunachal is just great.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the drive. I just hope it turns out.
And we'll probably do a podcast on that when you're back, just to understand driving a supercar through Arunachal. That'd be something.
Yep. Then there is the road from Guwahati down to Shillong, which then goes, you can go up to Cherrapunji.
Yeah.
That's also another really nice road.
Yeah.
Views are stunning. Some other places in our northeast aren't great.
Yeah.
Okay, like Guwahati, not really a great.
Very aggressive drivers over there also.
Yeah. So but you get out of the main cities and then you're up in the hills. No, great drives to be had. Sikkim, I'm telling you, the traffic discipline. Gangtok is congested. There is traffic there.
But they drive like Europeans.
They will not cross the white line.
Yeah.
They will not use the horn. In fact, by mistake, if you touch the horn, everybody give you such dirty looks. You're like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
But the traffic discipline is just it. And this is India.
Yeah. And I think it's born out of...
We can be like that.
Yeah.
We can be sensible. Just to see the traffic discipline, go up to Sikkim.
Yeah.
And then from Gangtok, you drive to the Nathula Pass.
Yeah.
That's also a great drive. Beautiful views, really nice surface. In fact, from West Bengal, now you cross the West Bengal border and you cross into Sikkim. The same guys, the same taxi drivers.
they start behaving themselves.
Yeah, who drive like lunatics in West Bengal. There is like another person is driving the same cab. It just transform. And then when you're driving back from Sikkim, you cross the border.
Same problem.
The same guys suddenly just like
Switch.
flip is switched. Yeah. I just don't get it. Bhutan also, with an Indian license, Indian car, you can cross into Bhutan. I think now they charge you some...
a day fee.
$15 or something.
It's a little more expensive than before.
Yeah. They want to keep away the riffraff. Obviously, they don't say it in so many words, but they don't want too many people to come and spoil the place. Again, there, the road sense, the traffic discipline, the road quality, it's great. Bhutan is a great drive. Again, I'm going to say 20 years, but maybe not. Maybe 18 years ago, I drove through Bhutan.
I went much more recently. I went maybe 8 years ago. And phenomenal, And what really struck me is how a national border is just like this division line between two completely different cultures. On the Indian side, it's a regular Indian town, chaotic, messy. You've got electric posts, cables running all over the place. You've got open drains. There's one gate dividing, I think it's Rampur. I forget the name of the Indian town.
Indian town is Phuentsholing.
No, Phuentsholing is the Bhutanese town. Okay. There's one gate between these two towns, and you go into there, and it's just a different place. Completely different place. Obviously, different administration, everything. That's why it is different. But it's just, you can look left and right and see two different scenes. It's phenomenal. And then you drive up, and Bhutan... When we drove, we went into some of the restricted parts of eastern Bhutan as well.
So that's Bumthang.
And...
so to get to Bumthang, so normally people go to Paro.
Yeah.
Paro is where the airport also is, and Thimphu, which is the capital. At Thimphu, you'll have to apply for the permits to get to Bumthang. It's not too difficult. You can do that. And then the drive across Bumthang, and then you get into India from the other side.
Right, yeah.
That's... it's...
brilliant.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And you have to go to Bhutan because again, it's like a mental challenge to actually assimilate what is going on. It's surrounded by India. You've got Sikkim on one side, you've got Arunachal, Assam on the other side. It's this little landlocked country. China on the other side. Yeah. And then it's just its own thing. It's so unique, the culture over there. It's so different from everything that we know and have over here.
It's an experience and a half.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And if you can take your own car there, it's brilliant.
You also get to see very interesting cars there.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of Tucson's.
So the first time I saw a Terracan was up there.
Yeah.
Lot of Hyundais actually.
Yeah.
Those what is the van, Staria or something? First time I saw those, the Gets. Now this was again like 18 years old. The first time I went to those. You never had all those things in India.
Correct.
You had the Santro and the Accent,
Yeah.
and you saw all these interesting cars there. A lot of nice SUVs, pickups. I think I saw the royal family's Harley Davidson being ridden somewhere over there.
Okay.
And those were the days when you wouldn't really see those in India also. So interesting cars that you see over there. So that's Bhutan. Also another interesting drive, which is also a difficult drive, which also you need permissions to take your own car, is the drive up from Manebhanjang to Sandakphu.
Correct. Now that's something we've done many times.
Yeah, the land of Land Rovers.
Which
Which is now the land of Mahindras, because after everybody started doing these stories, land of Land Rovers, people from all over the country went to Manebhanjang and they scooped up all those Land Rovers. So I think from maybe 60 or 70 cars, I think there's maybe 2 dozen left.
That's a pity.
Yes, and those original ones with the petrol engines are all gone. Now it's the ones with just the Mahindra diesel engines in it.
Yeah.
And now they're running Boleros and Bolero campers up there.
But the first time we went up there, it was just, again, you go to these places and you don't even know they exist. And it's just another world. So this place, its claim to fame and why it's called the land of Land Rovers is because when the British were here, they imported a lot of these Land Rovers to do the work in the plantations and all of that in Darjeeling. And once they left these cars behind. Eventually, they all somehow got assimilated into this one region of Manebhanjang, and they were used as taxi rides almost, as shuttles between Manebhanjang to Sandakphu.
Top,
Sandakphu is the highest peak in West Bengal, and you got beautiful views of Kanchenjunga.
Yeah. If you are there on a clear day, I've been there I think 3 or 4 times. Never had a view of Kanchenjunga. So always there's been cloud cover over there, and you like see a speck, and then the clouds are there. And
completely based on your luck.
Yeah,
But it's a narrow road. It's this cemented road now that they've.
But not all.
Not all of it.
No, still not all of it. So when we took the XUV 400, we wanted to take the electric car to the highest thing. Then there was one patch which was just all mud, and the car wouldn't go through because it was raining, so it became slush. And so
the first time we went there, they told us, we're going to finish this road. So I assumed that it was done.
Finish is not done.
That's good, because that leaves some challenge.
It is not some challenge. It is a serious challenge.
Correct. Yeah.
We had a Bolero camper as a support vehicle. It was a brand new car. Nobody had ever engaged 4x4, and up there we were like, come on, engage 4x4, because we couldn't go further.
Yeah.
Finally, we did manage to engage 4x4, and then only with 4x4 low engage did we manage to get up to Sandakphu top. And then the drive back. So the driver who came with that camper, he was not a local. And oh God, the way he was driving. So eventually the crew told me to drive. So Anand took the 400 and I was driving that Bolero camper. That was not easy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's scary.
But also it was a memorable drive.
So the road up there, especially once it gets into that off-road section, you've got these steep hairpins, very steep hairpins with very steep drops, and nothing to catch you when you go down. So a lot of hairpins, you have the next level of road down. These hairpins have nothing. It's just a drop, and the hairpins are so tight that if you have a slightly long vehicle also, you're doing 3-point, 4-point turns just to get through the hairpin, it's proper heart and mouth stuff.
And then you have two-way traffic.
And it's a two-way road. Yeah.
It's like those places you have, and all these are Bolero campers, all driven by locals. Oh God, it's like, there's a 100-foot drop one side, and on this side, the other guy is going to give you 0.5 millimeter of space, and it's stressful. And how?
It's very stressful, but also it's very beautiful. You've got these rhododendron plants with their red flowers just lining the entire drive. You've got little pools of water. You've got little lakes on the way.
Apparently, there's red fox over there. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've only seen boards that say.
But it's foggy, it's misty, it's cold, sometimes it's raining, it's beautiful.
You catch Nepal mobile network over there.
You actually cross into Nepal. So the road at some points is the border.
Yeah.
So if you step off the road on the left, you're in Nepal. You step back onto the road, you're in India. So it's nuts.
It's a really beautiful drive. But again, little planning.
Yeah.
An Alto will go.
Yeah, easy.
And you need 4x4s.
Yeah. The first time we went there, Land Rover themselves took us there.
Yeah.
And we were in Discoveries and Discovery Sports. These are wide, big cars. That Discovery is a Hathi. It's a big car, And to see that car doing those tiny, narrow hairpin bends, doing 3, 4, back and forth, wheels going to the absolute edge of the road just to make the turn.
But it's also an experience sitting with one of the local guys in their Land Rovers and them driving up. It's actually an experience. So I went up parts of the way when we did the recce. I sat with one of the local guys in the Land Rover, and their precision, they know exactly how much. And those Land Rovers are actually very nimble and maneuverable.
Yeah.
It's a joy to see an experienced driver, a skilled driver doing that.
And where do you get to sit in a Series 1 Land Rover? Series 2 Land Rover. That itself is an experience.
That's what's there. Yeah.
You don't get that. Okay, you're saying the petrol engine cars aren't there anymore.
Gone. It's all diesel.
Even if they're Mahindra diesel engine cars, that body, that shape, you see the aluminum that it was made from, the bare aluminum.
That's why it's still there, because they haven't rusted.
Exactly. And just sitting in there, looking at the simplistic engineering that was effectively, alongside the Willys, the origin of the SUV, So, beautiful.
Yeah. So, I think that's that for our recommendation of great driving road trips, great driving roads. Like you said, we've been saying this all through. If you have any suggestions, drop it in the comments. Let's make this a repository. In fact, people collate all of this and put up on our website also.
Yeah, we should.
So, people have like a way to go from ABCD, like from the north, south, west, east and all that. So you can plan a proper road trip. And again, in the comments, you can also add suggestions, tips, expert advice on what to take, what not to take, when to go, when not to go. And so enjoy your road trip, enjoy your holiday if you're planning one for the summer break.
When you go, we'd love to see pictures of y'all.
And we'll do this as a series also on our Instagram. So over there also you can drop in your suggestions. And if you have any pictures, you can just DM it to us and we'll carry like a whole series of reader drives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Evo India podcast. We'll be back. Actually, Aatish will be back next week. I'll be up in Arunachal doing a road trip of my own.
Yep.
There's just so much. I've done so many drives in India. And there's always one more drive new to discover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, incredible India. You can say, it's all just marketing speak. But it really is incredible India.
It is. And just the variety of topography, the variety of weather conditions, the variety of everything, the variety of cultures, food. This is non-stop. You can't stop discovering this country. It's insane.
Yeah. So for the next 2 weeks, Aatish is going to helm the podcast. And he's got actually very interesting topic.
And very interesting guests.
So we are talking to our photography chief and our videography chief on how to shoot cars, how to film cars, how to get into this, what it takes, skills, everything.
Correct.
Right? So that's coming up for the next 2 weeks on the Evo India podcast. Thank you, Aatish.
Thank you, Sirish.
Over to you now for the next 2 weeks. I'm off. And thank you guys for watching and listening.